This is a Fox San Antonio special report on the run and most wanted.
The first partnership Fox San Antonio made was with the U.S. Marshals. This after the mother of a young child sexually assaulted by a family member contacted us via email. The attacker had cut off his ankle monitor and had been on the run for at least 4 months. Imagine the desperation that mother felt. Immediately, we did the story, and the U.S. Marshals Lone Star Fugitive Task Force jumped in the case. We promised the mother, knowing the quality of their work, that the task force would probably find Carlos Mireles within 72 hours. Mireles was found. The child gave her victim statement in court. Mireles is now serving a life sentence. And that's when Fox San Antonio's Marshals Most Wanted was born. They're the best at the job of hunting people down, hunting fugitives who sometimes are sex offenders who simply want to disappear, like John Wesley Price, who has been on the run since 2009, wanted for not registering as a sex offender.
10-4, and you said there's a window that faces the street from their apartment.
After 4 years, there's a break for the U.S. Marshals Lone Star Fugitive Task Force, who now has the case.
It's in the apartment 2 Foxtrot. He was outside arguing with his girlfriend about 30 minutes ago. They've got 2 kids.
She's walking toward the street over there. Now she's talking to a guy that's pushing a cart, and they're walking back. She's with the male with the blue shirt, brown pants, and looks like her target. Take them down. He's subjects in custody.
Word set to one San Antonio mother, whom we will call Sarah, meant the end of a nightmare when the U.S. Marshals picked up her child's predator.
They were our saviors, that's for sure.
Carlos Mireles was out on bond for the aggravated sexual assault of a child. In May of 2011, he decided to cut off his ankle monitor and disappeared. After 4 months of being on the run, the U.S. Marshals got the case. Within 72 hours, thanks to viewers' tips and the great investigative work of the task force, Mireles was found.
That night when they captured him, feeling relief of him no longer being on the streets and why we did get justice.
We would not be able to do what we do day in and day out without the assistance of our members. And that's all of the different state and local agencies in the San Antonio area. So we're all in this together.
Right after Mireles was found, Fox San Antonio started the Marshals Most Wanted segment. A good number of those fugitives we feature are sex offenders.
I am so excited and happy when I see them getting caught. Because I think of the other parents, what they must be going through.
And no matter where they may be hiding, for victims and their families, tips from the community to get these child predators locked up is key to keeping all children safe.
It is our business to be involved with the community, male or female. If they're pedophiles, they can hurt, another child, your child. They need to be caught.
Now, one of the segments that we do every week is Marshals Most Wanted, and today we have U.S. Marshal Robert Almonte. Thank you for being with us here today.
Thank you for having us here today.
What is the importance of this partnership that you have in the Lone Star Fugitive Task Force in picking up some of these not only warrants and convicted sex offenders, but child sex offenders in the area?
Extremely important. First of all, the United States Marshal Service was tasked with enforcing the Walsh Act, which Congress enacted in 2006. And basically what that did is that made the United States Marshal Service the lead federal agency in investigating sex offender cases and working with our state and local counterparts in investigating sex offenders, or more so, ensuring that they register if they were required to do so, and also ensuring that they are in compliance. And if they're not in compliance, we assist our state and local partners in tracking them down, placing them under arrest. Now, if they cross state line, then it becomes a federal offense, and we work with the United States Attorney's Office in pursuing federal charges, Walsh charges against the offender.
How surprised are you when sometimes, it seems a lot more when we go on the ride-alongs, that these men, women are found in the company of a partner that has small children?
It's unbelievable. It's scary, I guess. I can't think of a better word for that, because these people need to know that we're not investigating to see whether they are sex offenders. A court has already determined that. A court, judge, and jury have already determined that. So we're working to go after them and take them off the street. They've already proven that they can't be trusted with children. So to find them in the company of children is very alarming. So that's why it's extremely important to remove them, take them off the streets. And by doing that, we're protecting young children.
Here's one of the scariest for me. We're so close to the border. A lot of these people run to the border and they cross into Mexico. But even if while they're in Mexico, do you still need those tips from the viewers saying, I know they're in Rosita, I know they're in Monclova. Do you still want to know that?
Absolutely, absolutely. United States Marshals Service presence is not only in the United States, but throughout the world, including Mexico. We actually have offices in Mexico. And what we do, when we get a tip like that, we send that tip to our office, our personnel in Mexico. Now, they work with Mexican law enforcement, and Mexican law enforcement actually are the ones that track down the sex offender and take them into custody. So our role in Mexico is to assist Mexican law enforcement in tracking down the individual, but Mexican law enforcement actually is the one that ends up making the arrest.
At the end of the day, your men and women that work in the task force with the U.S. Marshals, at the end of the day, they're the ones going out there and picking them up. But when you get that email that says, we just picked up another one, how does that make you feel?
Oh, it's great. It's great. I can't think of anything more important. I'm extremely proud of the men and women in the United States Marshal Service, and I'm just as proud of all of our task force officers that participate in the Lone Star Fugitive Task Force that are members of other state and local agencies here. We're all in this together, and we can't do it by ourselves. So I really appreciate the sheriffs and the chiefs sending their personnel to become or be a part of the Lone Star Fugitive Task Force.
Now here are the mugshots of some of the people on the run with charges related to sex crimes. Renee Alvarado, Ricardo Contreras, Robert Chisholm, Robert Jackson, Rodolfo Guerra Jr., Roland John Ramos, Roy Luis Resendez, Ruben Hector Mendoza, Ruben Marquis, Ruben Rivera, Ruben Rodriguez, Samuel Elias Garza, Sostenes Mendez, Virginia Casca. And chasing fugitives is a big job. Why members of the Lone Star Fugitive Task Force say they've invested their officers and time into this law enforcement task force. This Fox News at 9 special will continue in a minute.